All right, you guys. So, welcome to inverse functions. All right. So, what I've got here is just I'm going to do a quick overview on what it means to be an inverse. And I think the best way to explain that to you is to show you a picture. Okay. All right. So if you look here at the delta math problem I have up here, okay, that says for the function f of x equals 8x to the fifth, find f, and it says f to the negative 1. Well, that means inverse, okay? So it's asking you to find the inverse. So what is an inverse function, okay? Well, if I look at number 1 here, okay, I've got it typed in, y equals 8x to the fifth. I've got it over here in red. Okay, so here's our picture of what an x to the fifth function would look like. Okay, and then I have these two other equations in here, and part of what we're going to be learning in these next days is how do I figure out the inverse by hand? Okay, yes, I could do it with Desmos, but how could I do it by hand? Okay, and it really hones in our equation solving skills. All right, well, an inverse function, what it does is it actually takes your x and y values and it reverses them. Okay, so it takes that table, okay, and it actually takes the x values and moves them into the y column, and it takes the y values and it moves it into the x column. And I'll show you that in a minute. Okay, but I want you to see the picture first. Okay, so when I click on the next picture, okay, that is the inverse function. Okay, so you can see now I have the red is the original function. Okay, and then the blue, that's the inverse function. Well, why is it the inverse? Okay, it's because if I take the line y equals x and I draw it now in green, okay, I get this symmetry. Okay, and what it is that my red function was flipped over this line y equals x to create this blue function. Okay, and so that's what it looks like visually. Okay, and if I zoom in, okay, that's what it would look like closer. Okay, but what do I mean about these tables? Okay, so this is why I really like Desmos. So here's my first one. I want to click on edit and I'm going to convert it to a table. So there's my values. Now what's going to happen when I click on this one, okay, is the values are going to reverse, but you got to give me a second, okay? So I'm going to click on that. I'm going to convert this one to a table. And you're like, but Ms. Barfield, they didn't flip, okay? That's why I say, give me a second. Okay, I'm going to type in negative 256, negative 8, 0, 8, 256. Okay, look what I got. Okay, I took my x values. Okay, my x values that are here are now here, and the exact same values that were in my y column are in my x column. Okay, and it used the inverse function to evaluate them. Okay, that's what it means to be an inverse, okay? Is when you take this table right here and you literally pick it up and flip it over, okay? And I have picked it up and I flipped it over. Took all those y values and put them in the x column, okay? And if you notice, nothing changed. And if I click here, negative 1, 8. Let me see if it'll hyperlink it. I don't think it will. Yeah, it's not going to right now. Okay, but that's what it is. Okay, so what I'm going to do when I come back in my next video is how do I do this? How do I figure out this answer if Desmos didn't exist? Okay, and I know for some of you are thinking, well, if I can just do it on Desmos, why can't I just continue to do it on Desmos? Okay, you got to know how to do it by hand. Okay, and it's not hard, I promise. Okay, all right, so I'll be back in another video.